Hi and welcome. Yesterday I updated our shop and I've uploaded this brand new stamp set, the pencil marks number 6. It's brand new. It hasn't been in the shop before, and I also added some new clear versions of stamps that we already carry, such as the pencil marks number 1 and 2, the textured mushrooms, the textured Christmas trees, the inky flowers, and we also have 2 mix it up stamp sets with mixed media stamps which contain mixed media images from older sets. So if you like our clear stamps and if you want to have a look, I will link everything up in the video description. I'm working in my square watercolor journal. It's from Kunst Papier, and I'm using distress inks together with some water that I'm spraying onto the stamp to create my background. I did a similar technique in one of my last videos, and I will link this up in the end cards so you can check that out. I haven't been using the distress inks for a while. Just recently I started again. I really like the possibility you have using the inks with stamps and water to create different kind of backgrounds. I placed that background stamp right to the edge of the acrylic block, because I want to stamp near the spine of the book, and then it's always better to have no overlapping from the acrylic block. I will now let this dry so I can create a layered effect with more stamping on top. When you are using the stamps with so much water, it's always better to dry the stamp in between, especially with these distress inks, as they will bead up when they get too wet. So I always dry the stamp in between and then I ink it up again. In case you are interested in the colors that I picked for this page, I believe I used peacock feathers, picked raspberry and wilted violet, and here I'm using the distress oxide ink. I think it should be also the peacock feathers. I'm not 100% sure and I haven't noted it down. It's been a while that I have recorded this video because I have been on holidays, and I did it before our holidays and now I do the voiceover. Here I'm blending everything a little bit into the white area of my page. It's time to add more texture to the background, and I want to have a really intense contrast, and I'm using the VersaFine Clear ink in black because this gives you the most intense black images together with one other stamp from that brand new set. I just remove it from the acrylic block because I want the dots to be a little bit more organic and not in a perfect arrangement. I wanted to create some black splatters, and here I'm using the black soot distressing just with a little bit of water to create some splatters. While this page is drying, I go through my collage papers. I have a lot of them already collected. Most of them are just papers with leftover acrylic paint. Sometimes I clean a stamp on these papers, and here I picked out a paper that I really liked color-wise together with the background, and I'm going to stamp my main image with this flower image from the pencil marks number 6 onto this background. For stamping over an acrylic background, I always recommend using StazOn ink because it dries the fastest and you don't have to wait. With the archival ink, you have to wait a little bit, and with the VersaFine Clear, I think you have to wait for many hours. As this is the first time I'm stamping this image from the set, I decided to stamp it onto a leftover paper. Photopolymer stamps are very sticky, especially when they are brand new, and that can be a little bit problematic when you are stamping on a sticky surface such as acrylic paint. So I always stamp the images on a leftover paper, and if you have used the stamps for a few times, they will get less sticky and they will stamp more easy. What's also very important is to always have a fully inked stamp pad. So don't save your re-inkers, just ink up your stamp pads very well and they will always stamp very well. And the more you re-ink your ink pad, the less ink you need to put into your ink pad, so you don't waste any ink. I'm cleaning the stamp in between because I picked up a little bit of the acrylic paint bits from the paper because of the stickiness of the stamp. So I decided to clean it in between. That also helps to make it less sticky for future stamp impressions. I will now cut the images out and then I will see how I'm going to place them onto my page. And here I have already added them, and I also stamped a sentiment onto the leftover pieces of that paper. But before I'm going to glue them down, I want to add a little bit more color to my page. As there are some orangey tones on the main images that I have prepared, I want to add some orangey splatters to the spread, and here I'm mixing up some liquid acrylic paint in yellow with some orange acrylic ink. And I think this matches the main images very well. I always try to have similar colors on my focal point and also on the background, because that makes look everything more cohesive. I will now dry the ink and then adhere my main images and the sentiment. In between my drying process, I also decided to add some white splatters, which you maybe can see on the background. White splatters are always a highlight on a page, and that makes it more vibrancy because it increases the contrast. I'm using a glue stick to adhere the flowers and also the sentiment. That works pretty good because the paper is not that heavy. Yeah, and that's all I'm doing with this page. I really love the colors. Usually I'm not a friend of blues and violets on one piece, but here I feel it looks pretty nice. I hope you enjoyed my video today. Check out the new stamp sets over in the shop and give this video a thumb up. Thank you so much. Bye.